Destiny 2, as of late, and if we're honest, pretty much since launch, has found itself under quite a bit of scrutiny from both its core community and just about everyone else with an opinion. The majority of that scrutiny has been directed at Destiny 2's in-game cosmetic and vanity item shop, the Eververse, which is also the game's primary source of monetization and microtransactions outside of the sale of paid DLCs and expansions. Now, I'm not here to directly discuss D2 or the Eververse. That's something the community is already doing a really good job of, I genuinely mean that. But today I want to use both D2 and the Eververse to further discuss the issues that lie within cosmetic or vanity-based microtransactions. In the past, I've gone on record saying that I was okay with the sale of cosmetic items as microtransactions. They don't affect gameplay, they don't affect the player, therefore they're not pay to win, and I'm all good with that. But some recent realizations and deeper thought put into the subject matter have brought me to a new conclusion. Let me start by clarifying that I think loot boxes and other random reward systems can go to hell. They're an awful way of manipulating and pumping cosmetic items out to a game's community, and I've felt that way for quite some time now. And as I've said before, a game like Titanfall 2 probably has one of, if not the best implementations of cosmetic microtransactions. The player can see exactly what they want and buy it straight out with money, no random crate nonsense here. If a publisher is going to monetize their game with cosmetics, I really do believe that that is the best and most consumer-friendly way of doing it. But let's roll things back for a second to Destiny 2. And let's imagine a situation where the Eververse didn't utilize a loot box style system via bright engrams, and instead a player, much like they can in Titanfall 2, could head on in and simply buy any of the available vanity items directly with cash. No weird currency conversions, no silver, just a one-for-one purchase. You want that Sparrow? That'll be $5. Sold to the Warlock in white. That all sounds great, especially when we compare it to the current mess that is the Eververse. But is that really the only problem that a game like Destiny 2 is facing with its cosmetic and vanity items? No, absolutely not, and far from it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where we dive down the rabbit hole. So put your safety helmets on. You see, a game like Destiny has much more in common with an MMO or shared world RPG than it does with its legendary predecessors. It's a game where people get together with friends and strangers alike to complete challenges, overcome obstacles, and at the end of all of that, head to the tower, gather around, and share their plunder. Now that plunder should include far more than just gear and weapons that directly affect gameplay. It should, and it often includes sparrows and ghost shells and spaceships. Each and every one of these items that are commonly tagged as merely cosmetic carry just as much weight and value to the average player as a piece of armor or a new grenade launcher, despite their lack of gameplay modifying statistics. Anyone who has ever played a game like Destiny, anyone who has ever played a game ever where you earn stuff, knows how excited people get about earning things that are not just connected to gameplay. A couple weeks ago, I was running Crucible with Von Spriggan, and I actually managed to get an exotic ship drop. I got a Korra's ship. I lost my damn mind. Not just because it was a Korra's ship and that thing is sexy as F, but because I actually earned it doing an in-game activity, doing the Crucible. It does make a difference here. The problem we have is that we're asking the wrong questions when we discuss microtransactions. We shouldn't simply be asking how something affects gameplay, we should be asking how it affects the player experience. Suddenly, it's very easy to see just how much player reward and satisfaction in a game like Destiny 2 is stripped away, with half of it, possibly more, of its vanity items having been put behind a vendor in loot crates, rather than being hunted for out in the game's open world, its activities, or its challenges. There is a damn good reason people spend hours floating on their Burning Crusade era mount in the main cities of World of Warcraft, or showing off their emotes at the start of a match of Overwatch. There's a reason publishers are raking in millions of dollars on the purchase of these mere cosmetics. Games have changed, and more of them offer a shared world, a place ripe for players to gather around and show off their weapon camos, their shaders, and their emotes. These items we've tagged as practically valueless clearly carry an incredible amount of value. The numbers show it, and they do indeed have a real effect on the player experience. We as individuals showcase it time and time again. Now, I don't like to do a discussion like this without providing what could be some sort of a solution. I'm not an industry expert, I'm not a game developer, I don't know how things are really going behind the scenes, but I think it's clear that loot boxes need to go. But what about the strategy employed by Respawn with Titanfall 2? I think there is one potentially right path to walk here, and that's to ensure that the base game has an adequate amount of these vanity items, these cosmetic items that can only be obtained in-game without any sort of real-world currency. This will help avoid an issue like the one D2 is facing, and then and only then could a developer start to create additional cosmetics that could be monetized to allow them to, say, make free gameplay focused DLC like the maps and modes throughout the life of a game, similar to what Respawn did with Titanfall 2. Like, I get it, games cost money. I'm not saying developers should sit here and not monetize their product at all and just pump out free map after free map, but if we're going to go the route of we want to give the player free map based DLC so we don't segment the community in a multiplayer experience, then there just needs to be a smarter way of monetizing things. And I really do think Titanfall 2 has one of the best business models, but again, we need to be concerned with how a lack of cosmetics in the core game, too many cosmetics in the microtransaction side of thing, can really just screw things up. Destiny 2 is an outstanding example of that. So I ask you guys to consider what we've discussed here and really think about it the next time you're told, but they're merely cosmetic.